Joe was always a plan that he'd play on the Saturday. Well, hopefully, I'm saying always a plan. He'll go out, he hasn't done anything. He'll be training today, and if he's fit, then he'll start. Muzzy, not seen him yet. Unlikely that he'd be fit to start, having had diarrhoea and sickness for 2 days. That's going to take a lot out of him.
He must be really disappointed with that. He must be desperate to make his first start, must he?
I'm sure he is, of course. I don't know, he's joined a long list of sickness and injuries, unfortunately, of players that have come in. And one real positive out of the game the other night was Luke Iam coming back after all his injuries. So despite the injuries and sickness that we've had, that was great that he came back and played.
No new issues to contend with?
I don't think so. I'm not seeing everybody yet. I've been in a while, but they'll all be coming. I hope not, Brennan. No.
Plans to take some of the younger players, some of the lads that would normally have played in the under-23s last night. You put out a very young team for that game. Was that with an indication that one or two might travel for this one?
Yes, Tristan's travelling. As you know, he's been out for a while injured, just been coming back. Ben Morris, who's been doing well, and Aaron Drynan will all travel. And I explained to you there the other night, they all played because I got a full squad. They all played on the Monday. I didn't expect to lose 3 players by the time the game came around on Wednesday.
So I guess Ben Morris, Aaron Drynan could be in the front seat if Joe doesn't make it without David McGoldrick in terms of a place on the bench.
Yes, of course, with Didsey out, see how Joe is this morning, see how Muzzy is, see whether he's travelling. I don't know yet. I certainly don't want him travelling if he's still infected and passing that on to anybody, particularly me, by the way. I don't need that.
How close to an under-23s game is Tom Adeyemi at the moment? How's he progressing?
I can't answer that, I'm afraid. How close he's to a game, he's doing his rehab, and he'll be, they haven't given me a time on that.
This one's your 3rd game in 7 days after Hull. Next weekend it's another Tuesday, Saturday, so next week is that the time for some downtime for the players?
Yes, they'll be off Sunday, Monday to recover. I think they've all earned that. They can spend a bit of time with their families, and some of them, of course, may live up in the north, can go and see somebody and stay with them and just have a rest, because it's taking its toll. And I think probably some of the injuries that have come through all the games and the training, and the fact that we've not used that many players.
And flying up for this game must be beneficial, mustn't it, rather than a 6 or 7 hour journey or what it might have been on a coach on a Friday afternoon?
Oh yes, the trip to the northwest from the southeast is not a great trip on a Friday afternoon. Believe me, it doesn't matter when you go, and it's not easy to get the, train travel's not the easiest either to have to get up there. So by the time we've sorted it out, it's usually a coach. You sat on it for 6 hours, could be more than that, depending on how you get through certain spots. Cambridge, then we get up onto M16, Manchester, and yeah, it's a long old trip. So a flight is brilliant. We're all looking forward to it. You were saying how well Luke Iam played the other night, his first league start for a long time. We spoke to him yesterday. He says he's happy to bide his time on a new contract. He just wants to play football. Is that the same as you? You just understandably want to see how his fitness is, I guess. Well, he can't do anything else, and understandably from the club's point of view, if you've got a player that's being injured, so everybody can have an opinion on this, and they can be screaming about. There could be agents, there could be Luke, there could be me, there could be Marcus, the boss. Everybody's just got to be calm about it and let him play. And I thought he was excellent the other night, and he was back, and he looked like the old Luke Iam. But there's an option on him, so the club have the option, and if they decide they want to keep him, then it's up to them. I know that surely Luke would want it nice to be sorted out, but he's had 1 game in 18 months, so let's just all calm down, mate, have some more football, and let's hope he stays fit, and let's hope we want to keep him and he wants to stay. And in general, the team of late hasn't maybe been the goal threat that you were earlier on in this season. What do you put that down to? I can't say it's any one thing. We've had attacking teams on the pitch. I've tried to pick that sort of a team and play that way. I don't know. Maybe it's that time of the season, and there's all sorts of. There's times in the season where you concede goals, and there's times when you'll have clean sheets. There's times when you score goals, and if I knew the reason for it, I'd be far wealthier than I am, because I'd pack it in and write a book. Martin Michael could do with one. He's been hitting the woodwork. He's been assisting. He's certainly been contributing. But you know what strikers number 9s are like. Yeah, Waggy's been different class, and his assists from corners and free kicks, he's been excellent all season, but you're quite right, he'll be wanting a goal for himself.
He was just talking in general terms yesterday as well, Martin, saying he looks at the squad and doesn't see any major surgery being required in the summer. Is that the same as you, just a bit of tinkering?
I would like to get Tom Adeyemi back, Emma Hughes back fully fit, to keep Webbo fully fit, he's missed a lot of football. Teddy Bishop, Andre Dazelle, who was the best player on the pitch in the first game of the season. That would help a lot of things, and I think then with Flynn and Tristan and hopefully Ben Morris is going to come to the fore, he's doing really well. We've got a pretty good squad. You
must wonder what might have been this season if you had all those players available. It's only natural, isn't it?
I'd like to think we're being better, but what about the players who have come in and done so well? I think it's, you can always bemoan your luck with injuries, but the players who have come in have been excellent.
And in general, this week it's been voted the transfer window is going to close a bit earlier. I think it's the 9th of August, just a few days after the new season. Are you happy with that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I went to a meeting of the league managers, and it was just a small meeting to discuss that subject. And I went thinking, no, we should leave it till the end. And then, as we discussed it, I thought, well, no, because the Premier League, after all their deals are done, we pretty much, we get loan players from the Premier League, as most other teams do. Well, all their business is finished on the 9th, so they can get all their business out of the way and then decide, okay, now we can loan these players out. Because otherwise, it's always left to the very last day when they're saying, well, if we get somebody in, we'll loan him out. Well, they've got 3 weeks to know which players they can loan out, because all their business will be done.
Looking at Preston this weekend, Alex Neil's done a good job in his first season. He's quietly going about his business and certainly in the hunt for top 6.
He's done a really good job, having taken over from a very good. His predecessor left him in good shape, I think. If you think Simon didn't leave because he was struggling and he got the sack and he had to go somewhere else and he had to come in and reconstruct a team and change it around, he inherited a real solid base, and I think he's added to that. And yes, he's having a very good season. TC was at the game on Tuesday night at Villa, said they were very good, and we know it'll be a tough game.
And in a sense, comparisons between the two clubs in terms of maybe punching above your weight with the big hitters in the division and shopping in a similar market when it comes to recruitment?
I think so, yeah. And they are punching above the weight at the moment. They've done very well, but as I said, Simon had done well beforehand, and he's just, I think he's changed it slightly. He's brought other players in, and yeah, definitely they are punching above the weight.
Well, you've been decent, more than decent on the road of late. A good win at Sunderland, and then of course it was a draw last weekend.
Yeah, felt like a defeat, but anyway, it was a draw. Yeah, we've been all right. Our performances, everybody's screaming from the rooftops when we played Burton and we didn't win, but apart from that, I think we've been playing well enough.
Lovely, thank you.
Look at the last few games, Mick. You've had the joy at Sunderland, you're getting a bit of stick against Burton, the ecstasy and the agony of the Norwich game, and then you're fuming at the ref in midweek. You certainly go through the range of emotions in this job as a manager, don't you? It's,
you've noticed?
Yeah. Do you
really?
25 years plus in this game now, is that still where you get your buzz from, or do you have moments where you think, why am I putting myself through this still?
I'm only 42, Let's look at me. I've weathered well, haven't I? I still get the buzz from it, of course I do. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. And the disappointments are horrible, but the good times is great. And I still get the buzz from coming in here, though. Coming in here and doing my job and going out to the training ground and managing the club and being part of it every day. And then the games that's the highs and lows, that's the real stuff. But it's I get a buzz from it every day.
What does Mrs McCarthy say about it all when you're coming home? Emotions still high, you're pretty good at switching off.
She says, hello, I love coming, have a beer, sit down. You have a cold towel for on your head. She's been I tell you what she is, she's been my best supporter for 38 years this year since we've been married, so she continues to be that, and she's just a mum, a grandma, and it's my support.
Football's an addiction for you, isn't it? Winning's an addiction for you, that's why you've been in it for so long and you've still got that addiction. It's clear to see.
I have, yeah. I said it's not just the games. You can't have just the games, of course. You can't just turn up and have the games on a Tuesday night and a Saturday or Wednesday night, whenever. You've got to go through all the daily routine. But I don't find that routine. I find that really enjoyable. I love that part of it. But all it is the build-up to the games, and of course that's what everybody else cares about. And I'm still lucky enough to be stood on that touchline, getting happy, getting sad, getting angry, getting emotional, and fired up for it every time we play.
Because we keep talking about your future and all the rest of it, but you've said before that whether it's here or somewhere else, you've still got that burning desire to be.
I have,
to be
yes,
in the game.
I have, and I look at my club, this club, at the moment. I think about the players that are here and will be here next year. If please God for them as much as anybody that they are injury free, that we'd have a good squad. And I've still got to discuss that with Marcus. But if Marcus wants me to stay, if he wants me to stay, then I'll certainly consider that. And that's where it's at. Marcus has got to want me to stay, not anybody else. It's got to be the club.
What would be the things under consideration, the factors for you, if that offer is forthcoming from the owner?
Well, that's for me and Marcus to discuss, isn't it? And not for public airing at the moment. And I'm due to speak to him. I speak to him on a regular basis, but not about that. I spoke to him the other night about the game and how it went. But we'll be sitting down to talk about that shortly.
It sounds like you feel this club could be in good shape going forwards from the way you've spoken about the players to come back from injury. Some of the
despite everything that goes on, I think it is, and it's managed well. This place is, the club is. I can't always guarantee results or performances. Nobody can, no matter how much you've got. But it's a good club, and it is. I'm particularly happy here as well, so I'm not wanting to leave. But if you're situated up, you ask me about Luke Iam, that's the same. David McGoldrick, their contracts are up. There's nothing you can do unless somebody wants you to stay. And it's interesting. I'm just reading Carlo Ancelotti's book, and it's great. And he says he talks about cycles, and while you're there, just make sure you do that. You make the best you possible can while you're there. But he also says it's always nice to be loved and wanted, and I thought, well, yeah, it is. So until we find out that's the case, we won't know, will I?
In terms of being wanted by Marcus as much of the fans as well, is that what you're saying?
Well, listen, fans fluctuate on performances and results, and it's not. By the way, it's not all the fans. There's a small section of them, I believe, that have decided that it's me they don't want. They want somebody else. I've had great support from the fans here, so I'm not worried about that.
Season ticket renewal time coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be good to get your future sorted before that, so everyone knows where they stand?
That might affect how many are sold or are not sold. So we might just keep that one in the balance. I don't know. I'd hate to think me saying I was staying affected the season ticket sales. I'd like to think they went up. We'll see.
Joking aside, do you think there will be a decision by then in the next few weeks, or is it going to go right till the end of the season?
I'm due to speak to Marcus. I'll be speaking to him certainly over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I've said to you before, I'm cool with it. But for all the reasons I've just said, the players who are here, the fact I like living here, I like doing the job. I'm certainly not going to be driven out by a small section of fans who are going to make my decision on that. Let me tell you that that's not going to happen. I'm a bit too long in the tooth and a bit too up for the fight for that to happen. If everybody else wants me around the place, then that'd be the big decision for me.
Who are the people's opinions that matter to you most then? Marcus,
Marcus owns the club. His is the biggest one, and I think you've got to have the support with him. You've got to have a relationship with the people above you, and I've got a great relationship with him.
You started plans for pre-season and all the rest of it?
Yes,
about this time of year?
yeah, and talking about players for next season. So I'm going ahead, as I said to you before, with the job, planning for it. I would never just down tools and stop anyway. Even if Marcus came to say to me, I doubt very much he's going to do, Mick, I think that's enough, we need to go. I think it's more likely to be quite the opposite. Mick, I'd like you to stay. I think that'd be the more likely scenario. But whatever one, I'll continue doing the job until the end of the season, as a good professional as I am.
Yeah, a few loan players there in terms of decisions to make for the summer. Do you think there's any chance of keeping any of those?
I don't know, because they'll be interesting. I've already somebody said to me, is people interested in Besant? Of course there will be. There's bound to be. Cameron Carter Vickers, I don't know there. I think everybody will take them all on pre-season. As the stock answer is, we'll take them on pre-season, and now they can say we'll keep them until August the 9th, and then we'll let you know. But at least then everybody's got 3 weeks. But we can start that planning that if we can keep them, at least we'll know by August the 9th.
Just on your formation, you were very much a 4-4-2 man for a long time, sort of going back to your Wolves days, the success for the playoff season here, but you've tried quite a few different systems over the last 12-18 months.
Well, you see, my job is to get results, and if I think that 4-4-2 is not going to get it, then it's pointless me doing it in it, just being a silly belligerent old man doing what I want to do and not doing what's right for the club or for the team. So I very often do it to play a particular setup, and it's worked. Thankfully, I'm a bit more flexible than just having a belligerent mind thinking this is the way it happens and there's no plan B. Well, there's got to be, because we're not the best team in the league.
How did you feel the system worked on Wednesday night for you? Is a little bit different, not something we've seen before, the 3 at the back and the three up top as well?
It worked well. It worked very well. I know we didn't score, but for a bit of a bonkers decision, we wouldn't have conceded one either.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck, mate.
Thank you. See you guys. All the best.